2 or 3 times. I mean, he has his own radio show, internet radio show. He even got a show where he sitting in his car on his way to work, running his mouth. But look, I call him the hardest working man in show business. James Brown gone, so somebody had to take his place. So, ladies and gentlemen, without no further ado, the hardest working man in show business. Put your hand together for him and his group, Black Ice and P.O.E.T. P.O.E.T. Give it up. All right.
Say it loud. Say it loud. I can't hear y'all black people. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Black Ice. We are the P.O.E.T organization. Who are we? P.O.E.T. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the P.O.E.T organization. People of extraordinary talent. Founded in 1990 right here in Chicago on the south side in the Inglewood neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. What we do is we feed the hungry. We clothe the poor. We mentor at schools. We visit prisons and juvenile detention centers. And of course, we come right here in the community on the street to give our people inspirational spoken word. Right here today, we have 5 awesome and great individuals that will be sharing with you today. But all the way from Jamaica, ladies and gentlemen. He just got to Chicago today for the National Spoken Word Awards weekend, and he's nominated for Best International Spoken Word Artist of the Year. This is Richie Innocent. Give him a nice round of applause. And we're going to kick things off with our brother Richie Innocent, all right? So let me hear everybody say Irie. Everybody say Irie. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, when I ask you, are you ready for the next poet? I need you to say, can he flow? When I ask you, are you ready for the next poet test? What you gonna say?
Can she flow?
Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, our brother from the island of Jamaica. Are y'all ready for the first poet?
Can he flow?
Y'all already know. Please put your hands together for Richie Innocent.
Now it's working time, the real working time. To free ourselves, with communities, and free our minds. Take cohesiveness and joint effort. Work to make your community be of great worth. So come, we community, run, come, unity, come, we community. The community, they are so for all of we. So come, we community, come, forward, come, unity, come, we community, for this development, come, we community, come if we walk with we hand in a hand. Unity, community mean we strong. With the spirit of community, we can't go wrong. We need to start out to self to carry out the plan. Organize yourself together, carry out the plan, so we can realize our ambition. Community people make we take a stand forward, because we have a role to play for success and harmony start from today. So come, we community, run, come, unity, come, we community, the community, they are so for all of we. Community, we make the future brighter. Collective energy, we make the work get lighter. If we need results, we must be initiator. Community people be motivator. Community people make we empower self. And stop the culture, tear down self. What we done, make we do it with self. Build with self instead of violence and kill with self. We need new thinking, community. Instead of division and animosity, we need vision and better strategy to influence, move to action, community. Make we work for the community, make it be the cause. No live on it now, go work and pan because. In every unit, you have to find flaws. Community, respect the rules and laws, but you have to know, say we now have no time for. Be a part of the team, wherever you live, contribute. Do something, be constructive. Know your rules, know your function. Try to be a bridge before you be an element where destructive. Me begging you, try your best to be positive. Your time and your skills, something you can give. Volunteer to share professional knowledge, and that is the only way we are going to be progressive. So come, we community, run, come, unity, come, we community, the community, they are so for all of we. So come. Come, run, come, unity. Come, we community. The community, they are so for all of it. So come, we community. Come, forward, come, unity. Come, we community. For this development, come, we community.
Give it up for Richie Anderson one more time, y'all. From Jamaica. He's part of our Jamaica chapter of the P.O.E.T organization. If my brother's in the back right there by the camera, if you guys could just move to the side so it won't pick up any audio from you guys talking, I would appreciate it. We're going to bring a sister on stage right now who's from the Inglewood community, represent the P.O.E.T organization. She's a national award winner. She's a published author. Ladies and gentlemen, are y'all ready for the first poetess?
Yeah!
Come on now, we supposed to be all in unison together. Remember, can she flow? All right, so that's the answer. Are y'all ready for the first poetess? Y'all already know. Please put your hands together for Lady Joe.
There's an epidemic of homicides. It seizing our souls. We can't even stroll on a warm summer day because of shots to the back, at least 16. Summer is low. Winter reprieve from the smoking guns and blaring sirens. At 8 miles south, we're so contained with shame that we hide in plain sight, pretending not to see the gun cases and dime bags that litter the streets. And like blotted art, blood is decorating our streets. At 8 miles south, from east to west, sirens are racing in the night to save a life. And a child of 5 continues to play at the sound of shots and finding dead bodies in vacant lots. At 8 miles south, it's death and destruction. The killings keep coming. Tears, fears, shattered dreams. Mothers are screaming because life's a struggle, a cycle of trouble. And all too often, some souls are sold and traded up for white gold. White lies and demise. Is it the sign of the time? No time for hoops, just posted troops. And 24/7 is gunshots and drive-bys. And the mother cries because in her eyes, all she sees is 2 dead eyes looking at her, praying for her son's demise. Stop the violence. That's a good shout.
Give it up for Lady Joe. For Lady Joe. There's a lot going on in our community on the south sides and the west side of Chicago. And I have a conversation every day with white folks who come to Chicago from all over the world. And they say, what's going on with the violence in Chicago? My answer is simple. The answer is this. If the president can talk about the borders of America and not allowing what he calls illegal aliens to come into this country, where our fight is with the borders of our city, that if you can protect the American borders, then why can't you protect the borders of Chicago from illegal guns and illegal drugs coming into our community? But violence is a big business. I, along with this sister right here, Karen, work at Stroger Hospital. And every weekend, several bodies come to the hospital with bullet holes in them. So who's getting paid from the violence in Chicago? The medical companies are getting paid. The bullet manufacturers and gun manufacturers are getting paid. The judicial system is getting paid. Our elected officials use this as a campaign slogan and they get paid. So they're not interested in stopping the violence, they're just interested in keeping it from going downtown. On my floor where I work in the hospital, we have something called isolation rooms, where when the patient comes in with an airborne disease, that patient is isolated from the co-workers and all of the other patients on the floor. As long as they can isolate the crime on the south side of Chicago in Inglewood and Auburn Gresham, as long as they can isolate the crime in Lawndale and in Austin on the west side, it's no problem. But as soon as the violence goes downtown, it's a problem. They solve crimes real quick when a crime goes downtown. My nephew was murdered last month on 61st and Sangamon. The streets and sanitation workers found his body in the backyard of an abandoned house. Not one person has been brought in for questioning in regards to my nephew's murder. So the question is, do they really want to solve the murders that are going on in our community? They want this land, brothers and sisters. And they want to make you so upset about what's going on in our community that you move out to Matson, that you move out to Country Club Hills, that you move out to Harvey and Markham and all these other places, and then they can take this land at a cheap price. And when they build on it, oh, brothers and sisters, I can talk forever about this. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring on our queen mother sister. She's a living legend, ladies and gentlemen. She's a published author. She's a playwright. She has released her own CD. She's a national award-winning poet. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, are y'all ready for the next poetess? Y'all already know. Please put your hands together for Firekeeper.
This poem is an affirmation of my blackness. I struggle to be humble in the presence of those not as black as me, not as melanated, pigmented, elevated, God-created black as me. I understand the universe is made of 95% dark matter and dark energy, like me. My blackness protects me from the sun. I try not to boast of the sun and my blackness and our affinity, but being richly melanated, I understand. I hold the secrets to the universe, the essence of divinity. Therefore, I struggle to be humble in the presence of those not as black as me. And I have learned, a polar bear, for instance, appears to be white, but the white appearance of his fur is simply to camouflage him from his enemy. If you shave the hair off a polar bear, he's black like me. His blackness absorbs the energy from the sun. The energy converts to heat. His blackness keeps him warm. All this time we thought that his fur keeps him warm. But that's not right. That's not right. His blackness keeps him warm. And he's black like me. I struggle to be humble in the presence of those not as black as he. I further learned a beautiful zebra appears to be striped. Black and white, black and white. But is that right? The striped appearance of her fur is simply to optically confuse her enemy. If you shave the hair off a zebra, she's black like me. Her blackness emits the heat from the sun. In other words, her blackness keeps her from getting too warm. Therefore, I struggle to be humble in the presence of those not as black as she. And you know about the black crow. I cross my heart and hope to die if I should lie. It's the smartest bird to ever fly in God's sky. This bird can talk and it can use telepathy, but because it's black, it has a bad rap and my sympathy. Therefore, I struggle to be humble in the presence of those not as black as it. If you understand the words coming from my mouth, it's some deep sugar, and it's sweet, and it's deep. Whether red bone, tan, or ebony, if your old folks come from Africa, we be family. And we cannot let Willie Lynch's plan stay true and separate ourselves because of color or our hue. We be family. We be family. Our people make love, lying on the line of the equator. They don't need suntan lotion. The sun is the potion. They love each other. They love the sun. The sun loves them. It makes them come. 9 months later, a little one, black as the universe, a gift from the sun, black as a polar bear, a zebra, a black crow, the universe, cancer free, and black like me. Therefore, I try, but I struggle to be humble in the presence of those not as black as we.
Chicago. Almost 800 murders last year. Do your math, that's more than double the days there are in a year. Mothers fear their babies not making it home from school. Unemployed brothers ain't got time to look for a job, but got time to be on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter acting a fool. And these gangs out here ain't following no rules. They ain't got no structure, but they knew exactly what they were doing when they denied parole for Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover. See, there's an old saying, cut off the head and the body would fall. I said, cut off the head and the body would fall. Let this be a lesson to all y'all, and I'm appalled to see at these Chicago rappers who boast to the world on how their lyrics be so cold. And you'll see them on stage at the award shows and they talk about how God saved their soul. But won't get out here and go to none of these schools or get out here on none of these streets to even try to save just one soul. And the church, if you're really there to help save lives, then let me make a proposal. See, if the church you attend ain't involved in community affairs to help save lives, then damn it, stop paying your tithes. And as for the Black Lives Matter movement, you didn't think I was going to let you off the hook, did you? I believe that Black Lives Matter, but when are Black lives going to matter to black people? March in the hood like you do downtown. Shut down some of these gas stations and liquor stores that have become breeding grounds for our babies to get shot down like you do those businesses on Black Friday downtown Chicago. Home of the world champion Cubs, the Bad News Bears, home of Michael Jordan and the Chicago bullshit. See, I don't think you understand. What's going down in Chicago has always been about land, and I recognize the hustle. But did you ever notice that as soon as they tore the projects down, the crime rate in Chicago doubled? Displace these gangs to go live where those gangs live. Let them kill one another. So what if an innocent baby gets killed? We'll go to the funeral and send flowers to the mother. In the meantime, let the land on the south side and the west side become devalued. And there ain't no scholar, but in our community right now, they selling vacant land for just $1. And like the land that the projects used to stand on, they gonna build retail spaces and condos. And while you're addicted to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and your babies are addicted to nachos and cheese, little baby Chucky say cheese. So what if you're a boy? Shake your booty for the camera, say cheese. Chicago, almost 800 murders last year. And we all have a responsibility to come out of the nightclub and get in these streets. Get off of your social media soapbox and get in these streets. Come out of the four walls of the church and get in these streets. See, we all like to talk the talk, and we love for our voices to be heard. But when are you going to realize that it's your actions that speaks louder than your words? That's that piece, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much. I'm going to bring my man Richie in.